Hi, welcome to Podcast from the Pit. This is Casey, and with our special guest today, Chad from It's Chad. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So happy you could be on today. When we first switched over to YouTube, I think I talked to you at Joe Fest, and I said that I really wanted you to be one of the first ones on, and I'm so thankful that you could do it.
Oh,
Because
I appreciate you having me.
yeah, uh, you got one of the best shows on YouTube for this community, and it was a blessing to be on the first ever episode of its well, hold on. Articulated chat. That's what it was. Is it still articulated chat?
It's still articulated chat, yeah. And the intro
Yeah,
says articulated chat, and then there's an asterisk and it says still.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
still it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Uh, Honestly, it made me want to switch from podcast to YouTube. It just took a lot longer than with working the schedule that we do. It
Yeah.
took a lot longer to do. But happy to be
Podcasts are
doing
cool
it.
because sorry.
No, no, I was upstairs.
Podcasts are cool because they're very plug and play. Like you can just listen. You can listen to them anywhere. They require less bandwidth than say like YouTube and the constant up and download speeds, but podcasts flow better in the direction from YouTube to switching it over to podcast because you going the other
Yeah.
direction doesn't really work, so you can take a live stream and just turn it into audio and make it a podcast. And yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys made the switch to the YouTubes.
Yeah. Yeah, we are too. Because over the last 3, 4 years, I mean, we've met a lot of really nice people, a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, we're still like lower end into the community, but I mean, we're meeting some great people and just having a blast. This year's Joe Fest was one of the best times I've ever had.
Joe Fest this year was so good. It was the best
Yeah,
year yet. Um,
yeah,
I had a
by
blast.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I was hoping I wouldn't get annoying to people, but I was getting pictures of everybody that I was like, "Come on, man!" Like Zazel said, man, I'm there for memories, and I made a lot of great memories this year.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's the randomness of Joe Fest is what makes it fun. Cause I remember I was upstairs and Carson and I were just BSing. I think I was helping him move some furniture around, and we're just shooting it. And I turn around and you guys are standing right there.
Yeah,
I was like, what's up? Yeah. Yeah. And that's the
yeah,
fun of it. I was in line for coffee and like I kind of feel this something sneaking up on me, and it's like down here, and I look and it's Brian Lauer, like Hooded
oh
Cobra
yeah,
Commander, and he's just like sneaking up under my arm, and I was like, "Dude, what's up?" Yeah, it's fun.
yeah,
There was some unfortunate drama, but sometimes it's unavoidable. It is what it is.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's just too bad. I try to
Yeah,
avoid it.
it sucked, and what's even more sad about that is now there's ripple effects that it is affecting next year, and really what it boils down to is it affects the attendees.
Yeah,
It's not really much on Ed and Joe Fest, and it's not really much on the vendors and the companies, but I think the attendees are the ones that suffer, and those are the people that you should care about the most, right?
right.
Like
Yes, definitely.
being in the military for as long as I have, I don't care what my senior leaders want. I care about what affects the Joes. Like the Joes are the bottom line, Joes, right? The
Yeah,
Joes are the bottom line because they're the doers, right? Like we may be the primary trainers of individuals, crews, and small teams, and like we develop these soldiers, but the soldiers are the ones who get it done. And it's the same thing with like, I really don't, I don't want to say I don't like to use the word community, but I try to use it sparingly. It's the same with cons, events, the community. It's the
hmm
bottom line people, the people who buy the stuff that keep you in business, the people that attend your cons that keep you in business. Those are the people that you should consider. First and foremost,
right.
always, not this vendor or this company or things like that. That to me, that's it's catering to the wrong demographic. So
Yeah, I think. You know, I don't do Valaverse, not because I don't think it looks good. It's just,
Or are we
you
talking
know,
about Valaverse? I was just
I'm talking about Valaverse for a minute.
I was just keeping it vague because
But here is my problem with the whole situation. I don't think, my eyes were closed to it till your video on it. And I'm not going to get into, a lot of drama. But then I went back and watched that guy's video. And, I see this whole thing 100% different now. Because at first, all I was hearing was the other side. And I'm hearing all this bad stuff out of this guy's mouth himself.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, he made me not like him in 15 minutes. I
Oh
watched the
yeah.
whole thing. 15 minutes. I was like, you know what? I will never buy another toy from that company. That I
It's
won't do it.
nothing but libelous, pardon me, slanderous, like hurtful, negative, personally attacking, like mean,
Yeah,
crude stuff. And it's nothing but that. And not even talking about like oh, well, you said something personal, but the slanderous and the libelous stuff, like that's going to get your ass sued, and you
right.
already
Yeah,
had a cease and desist when you admit that, like, oh, at dinner, I was getting worked up and I decided to put the shirt on and go start trouble. Like, why? You don't even need to do that. You just don't. Like, that
yeah.
stuff is dumb. It's dumb. Dumb.
And why would you do it at Joe Fest when, I mean, honestly, that's a week. It's about a week with the travel and everything that I look forward to all year long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's like you just want to take all the joy from people. And I don't know. I won't support it. And like I said, I've bought my last toy from that company.
And the thing is, I completely agree with you about it's about a week. So it takes me the greater part of 3 days. It's 2 full days and then like a half day to get there. And then the same on the way back. And then I'm there I get there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday, right? So I'm there 5 days with, 2.5 days on either end. You're talking a huge, a huge amount of time.
Right. It's a
Um,
commitment.
I didn't let that dude affect me. I didn't let him ruin him or his bros or any of that drama. I didn't let it ruin my time. I had a blast.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
the unfortunate part was when it got brought back up several months later for attention, or it's dumb. It's just dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what you like. I don't care what you're into. I don't care what you dislike. Just do your own thing. If you can't keep your opinions to yourself, then understand that respect is a two-way street. Like, I respect anyone's opinion. I don't care. I don't.
Right.
Like, my whole like big thing is like keep toys fun, and that's it.
Yeah. It should be fun.
I
They're
don't
toys.
collect for the reason other people collect, and I don't need other people to validate or reinforce why I collect stuff. And I have stuff in my collection and I'm like, eh, it's kind of wacky, it's kind of silly, but I still have it, so whatever. It's
Right.
all good.
It,
It's toys, man.
well, it's like I collect. I mean, if anybody's been watching, I do a lot of Doctor Who stuff now
Yep.
because I love Doctor Who. Nobody else I know collects Doctor Who. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think people should buy what they want to buy. I mean, they earn the money. And just to finish up the conversation on Valverse, it makes me mad because Hillbilly, who does the show with me,
Mhm.
he couldn't be here today. Huge Valverse fan, and he's going to go to Joe Fest for the first time this year or this coming 2024. And who is he not going to be able to see?
Yep.
And it just upsets me. I mean,
Pardon me.
like I said, to me, I don't buy Valverse just because I don't need another toy line. Not
Yeah,
because I
and
don't think it looks good.
I
I
have
wish he had
some.
smaller.
Yeah. He's not going to do 118 scale. I mean, they
No,
did that one-off 5 POA Desert Rat with Stan Solo, which is pretty cool, and he's actually hanging out on one of my Action Force shelves, and he blends right in perfectly. But
oh yeah, I bet.
the I do have some of their stuff. The comics especially. I love the comics because I will give the man credit when he created Action Force. legally bought the name, right? When he
Yeah.
created Action Force, he didn't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna regurgitate Action Force from the 80s," like you see a lot of toy companies doing today. Everything is just like recycle, reuse, do it over, don't change the story, just go, 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 go. He came up with new interesting characters with great backstories. A lot of them have intertwining histories, and it's something new and it's future forward. I appreciated that. But I guess the bottom line at the end of the day is when you have an event where you have to change the layout, the floor plan, the entrance, and all this stuff because of one, and I don't even really want to call them a vendor, I guess a vendor, but one company that attends your event, maybe you ought to not turn them away
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they
because
didn't want to lose them. I
I,
mean, I don't
um,
have inside knowledge, but for some
uh,
reason, I'm thinking they wouldn't want to lose them.
uh,
They do bring people.
I'm not going to speak on that. I'm just going to say that wasn't Bobby Vala's decision. So
Oh, here I am talking about stuff I don't know.
yeah, but that was not his choice. Nope.
I know at PowerCon he was swamped, so Hillbilly got to see him there, which I'm grateful for.
PowerCon, man. So
Yeah,
because I'm in my retirement track with the Army, right? Almost 22 years, and
yeah,
I'm on my way out. Retirement is very, I don't want to say tedious, but it's very involved, right? There's a lot of stuff that has to be done in specific orders. And one of the very last things that you do is you take terminal leave. So all the leave that you have left over, you just go take that leave,
hmm
right? You burn it, sell it, take half of it, sell half of it, which doesn't really work out in your favor because they tax it to death. Go figure. But um, because part of the process of retirement is I have to go into my leave log and I have to certify, yes, this is how much leave I have left. Um, the caveat to that is once I certify, yes, I have 78 days of leave, I can't take any of it because I have to hold it till the end. Because the Department of Defense is really mindful of, they'll say, oh, well, this person certified they have 78 days of leave, but throughout that year they took 20 days of it. So we put them on leave for 78 days. Now they owe us 20 days worth of pay. Right. So you see how that works out. Because of that, this is kind of a long-winded way to get around it. I couldn't go to PowerCon. I couldn't go to assembly required because I'm locked. And now there's not going to be a PowerCon next year. And man, it just bummed me out.
yeah. It was fun.
Because I was like, next year
Uh,
I'm going to do all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, no PowerCon next year.
yeah, next year I am saving some vacation time and I am going to assembly required.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lock that in. I will be there,
The only thing
even if I
about
have to go by
being
myself.
in the only thing about being in the desert Southwest is everything is far for me. Everything. Even SoCal Joe show, it's still
Mhm.
like a 13-hour drive just to get anywhere. The DFW Joe show is 13 hours. So like they're like equidistant 13 hours in either direction. And then PowerCon's like a 20-hour trip for me. Joe Fest is like 24. Yeah.
I
So
am here in Indiana. I'm very fortunate. I have two great Joe shows in Kentucky. Uh,
yep. The Kentuckian.
Winterfest and yeah, a Winterfest in January, and that's only an hour and 15 minutes from my house.
I just saw the post
Same
for that
place.
yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a great show.
I know.
And then they do Kentuckiana in July, same place. So that's two. Joe Fest is 9 hours from me. Uh, PowerCon was 4.
Get out of here, man. Get
I
out of
mean,
here with that.
these are all doable in the day.
Yeah. These are your first world problems. Like, oh man, it's
Yeah,
4 hours. I can't even get to
I
El
got
Paso in 4 hours.
well, I got to get up early that day.
Oh man, you got it
But
rough.
yeah, I mean, no, I really admit, and I got great people who live close to me. Like, so I constantly see Scuba at these shows because he's like 35 minutes from me.
He's so
The
cool.
guys from, he's awesome. And the guys from Anything Joe's, they're about 35 minutes away from me. I see them 2, 3 times a year. My guys from Order of Battle, they live farther away, but they always seem to make it to the same shows.
Cool.
So these are kind of people that, I've been my first contacts to the community, I should say, for
Yeah.
3, 4 years.
Right.
So,
That's
and
cool.
now everything's since Joe Fest, everything's been different. You know what I mean? I got my guys there, but all these guys who are doing these great YouTube shows have all reached out. I mean, I feel like I've made some really good friends over the last 2 or 3 years. I don't have
Yeah,
that
for
many
sure.
friends in real life that I talk to on a daily basis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But these guys I can reach out to online, or Ken from Toy Connection. He always responds. Super, super nice guy. I can't wait for that Delta 17.
Yeah.
Of course, call sign Lombo. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, Operation Recall. I even got in on the Hidden Force. I forget the first part of that.
Legends of
I
the
did
Hidden
that at
Force.
Joe Fest. There we go. I got into that at Joe Fest because I was like, I really want them to get over the top. I want to help them.
It's it's kind of one of these weird dynamics. I don't actively collect O-ring Joes. I don't.
Right.
Um, I have them if they're vehicle drivers, pilots, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but when you know people who dump their heart and soul into a line
Hmm.
and they're your friends and you want them to
Right.
succeed and it's new stories, new characters, I gotta back it. I gotta. And I'll probably put them in like baseball bat display cases and mount them on the wall
Yeah.
in my office or something like that. But I will always back projects that friends pour their heart and their hard-earned time into. I love it. And
Yeah.
right now we're in this awesome renaissance where fans are just doing amazing stuff. And it doesn't matter if it's a 1/12 line of figures or a 118 line of figures or like the Marv, that Matt V vehicle or even freaking Chunky Tank Kitty. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just like that's cool and that's cool and I want that. And freaking Skeletron killed it with their Robo Skull Mark II. And
Oh,
I know some
I still
people
wish I
all
got
about it
that.
because they never got a Robo Skull, but I have all that
Yeah.
stuff, but I still saw it and I was like, I think it's a brilliant passion project. And
Yes.
then they tie all this other stuff in there, man. They they did that Geyer Wolf for Gary Head, and I was like, damn, man, that's awesome. I gotta buy that figure, because I have Gary's Sightline figure. Gary was a real cool guy. I think he's his the lack of his presence is it's sorely noted in the community these days. See, I use that word, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think as long as we use community right, it's okay. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
who are, this is like I said, I tell my wife all the time, these are people I only see once, twice a year,
Yep.
and I consider them friends.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, absolutely.
reach out anytime. Yeah.
What are you drinking now? Oh, golden leaf tea?
Sugar free golden leaf tea.
Uh,
It's artificially sweetened or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't spike my sugar. It's
I'm just
good.
drinking coffee, man. I'm still on the coffee today. So
I already had my coffee this morning. I've been up for a while.
not me.
Excited for today.
Not me.
But we were talking about, I found something. Well, my wife found it for me. $5 toy.
Yep.
I don't. I don't know if I'm going to customize it for Delta 17 or Longbow yet, but it's going to be for one of them.
Th- that small stuff is fun, man. And I don't
$5.
I don't even mean to say small as in like the size of the vehicle, but the the lower price point lines. It's funny
Yeah.
that you hold up a toy like that, it's branded US Army.
Hmm.
If that had Hasbro or Mattel on it, especially Hasbro, it would be 4 times the price. So
Oh,
you got
easily.
that, right?
I've been looking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've only
awesome.
got one, and someone sent this to me in the mail. So
Yeah,
Chris Slaymaker sent me this because the part of the country where he's at, he can find them. So I guess they haven't made it, you know,
right.
my direction or our direction yet, but these things are rad. And then
Yeah, I'm looking for.
Suka Prime 3D printed upgraded landing gear kits for this, so it makes it the appropriate height, like off the tarmac or the deck.
Yeah,
He's gonna send me a set of those. I've already got plans for this thing, man. I'm gonna do this thing up, but that's why I haven't opened it yet.
right.
But
I'm looking for
twenty
one for me
dollars,
and Will.
$20. It's bigger than a
Yeah,
Rattler.
yeah.
Awesome.
I guess
I love that stuff, man.
$80 for my Rattler.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like 3 years ago. I want that. I will find that. That's my goal.
Yeah. TJ Maxx, right?
TJ
And then
Maxx, Ross, a couple others.
the Walmart retro 4-inch figures, they're showing up at Ross.
Nice. Yeah.
3 years late, which is kind of weird, right? But whatever. It's good for the consumer because they're $3.99, and that's like the old school price of toys. And
Yeah.
Ollie's is killing it lately. So
Do you remember your first Joe you ever bought
yeah. Oh yeah.
and where?
Where was I don't remember the name of it because it was like you're talking 82, right? So
Right.
most
Yeah.
toy stores were the mom and pop local toy stores. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember where it was. And it was in Vero Beach, Florida, little mom and pop toy store. We walked in and they had a whole like door facing end cap, nothing but Joe. And Flash was my very first Joe. He's my second favorite Joe.
The very first Joe I bought was at a store called 3D, which is kind of like a Walmart or Target back in the day, and at least in the Midwest.
Mhm.
And I got Breaker. He's the first one because I thought he was cool with all the gear he had.
Breaker's like, yeah, he's like 50% of people's first Joe. As soon as you started talking, I was like, I bet it's Breaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Breaker. Then I don't know, it's just snowballs from there.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure the next ones were like Short Fuse and
Yep.
Snake Eyes.
I had a lot of Star Wars, and it was that time period, especially when we're talking like Star Wars versus Joe. So
Mhm.
after 79, the waning part of 79, the beginning of 80, when Star Wars went from the original 22 with those play sets and vehicles and the do back to the Empire stuff. Yeah, the Empire stuff was like 90% Hoth. And then Masters of the Universe came out. Kind of got into Masters a little bit. Like I remember I had Castle Grayskull. I remember I had some figures. Then Joe, as soon as Joe hit, that was it. I
Yeah,
still
I
had
was.
the mask and the this and the Matchbox Voltron and things like that. And I still stayed with Star Wars until like 84, but it was almost entirely Joe for me for the rest of my life. And then Joe shaped my whole future. So from 82
Yeah,
on. Yep.
love GI Joe. Always have.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't want to get into the QC issues with the new figures. That's out there.
Yeah.
Sideways guns.
Yep.
I mean, I like a lot of how they look. Just modern, a little bit modern retakes of the figures I loved as a child.
Sure.
That's cool, but I don't really do anything with them besides open and stand them up. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
don't know
Dollies
because
for your shelfies. Mm.
yeah, that's what they are. To
Mhm.
where, and we'll just go ahead and pop into what we got. to where I'm down the rabbit hole of my Doctor Who figures.
Mm-hmm.
Love Doctor Who. These are like 5-inch figures. They're about 10 POA, but to me, I just love them.
That's cool.
I love the show, love the figures. I'm hooked on Cybermen. I will buy Cybermen everywhere I go that I see them. I army build too much. I got 3
Yeah.
this week.
Our army building's one of those things where you go from army building to hoarding. It's like that slide,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think
still
I'm
fun.
there. Yeah,
It's fun to army build. I like it.
I got me a Matt Smith Doctor. I am very lucky that I have a store like an hour from my house that's nothing but Doctor Who. Got me a Sea Devil
Nice.
from the original series. Yeah, got him off eBay.
Yeah.
I get a pack of 3 for like $100, or I can get one for 12. So I got one. And last but not least, we got an Android from the first series, the Tom Baker era.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. But that's been my week for buying.
Nice. I'm also lucky to have a store near me, and it's just a couple miles away, and owned and ran by some really great people. They care. They put on a annual toy show called Southwest Toy Mania, and I went to Toy Mania last week. I got a complete Kenner Death Star in the box, which is sitting right over there.
That's awesome.
Sealed Conquest of Cobra Mountain, the Joe versus Cobra play set. I got this bad boy. I'm a big fan of these. This is the not G.I. Joe Street Fighter Devastator, right? So the purple snowcat. So I
Yeah.
got that, and this thing's sealed. I got this for a real good price. And I already had the Street Fighter Hella Fighter, which is the lighter green Dragonfly. So I'm a big fan of those. And at their store yesterday, I actually met Just Jeff, which is Jeff McElwee. I met him there. He was driving through New Mexico on his way to Arizona. So, we just hooked up, toy buddies doing toy buddy stuff like we all do. And
Right.
since I had just scored all these great play sets and stuff at Toy Mania, I wasn't really going to go too toy heavy, but Yo Toys is the name of the store. They always have rad stuff. So I picked up G.I. Joe Special Mission #1. Right. I got
That's a
that.
great comment. Yeah.
I got some, well, yeah, plus it's #1, right? And then I got some other
Right.
comics. I'm slowly but surely filling out my original Marvel Joe run. And again, it's like I need this issue. I need those 3 issues, on and on, kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah.
I also got this, and I can't believe they had this in their store. 1985
Oh,
Mask #1.
nice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that on the the little turnstile rack, and I was like, "Dude," and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "Taking that." And the fun thing is, one of their employees, he just kind of comes around and he just hangs out and you chat and you talk like nerd stuff and pop culture, whatever. And oh yeah, did you watch Ahsoka? Yeah, whatever. And as I'm walking through the store, and I just take things, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'll put it in your pile," and then he'll come back a couple minutes later. I'll put that in your pile, and so I got those 2 comics, which I was very happy to find, and I got this Battle Force 2000. So it's complete. The antennas are in good shape, and I put a retro modern Stalker in there because I love that version of Stalker, and the green goes well with the cockpit. So I
Oh
got that
yeah.
sucker.
It's,
And
it's awesome.
I'm not the biggest fan of all the Battle Force 2000 stuff, but I like that vehicle. It pops open and it has that little armored personnel carrier. It's not necessarily a tank, but it's got that inside of there. So yeah,
Yeah. I was
been,
trying to make
been
a decision a year ago or 2 years ago at Jeff Fest because I'm pretty much where I want to be at with my O-rings from GI Joe.
right.
I'd like to get some more Night Force, but they're pretty pricey. So I
Yeah.
thought, well, maybe I'll move into the Battle Force 2000. And I'm like, but then I just like, I'm gonna start getting the modern figures. the 4 inch,
Yeah.
and that's a complete new rabbit hole. But it's a fun one. There are some great figures in there.
Oh, there's
I
some
think a lot of people
fantastic
don't
sculpts.
pay attention to them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's fantastic sculpts. The only problem with sorry, the only problem with the modern figures, once you get through 25th, 30th, Pursuit of Cobra, 50th, Rise of Cobra, Retaliation, Resolute,
Yep,
Renegades, and I only pick and choose from all of those because
me
you've
too.
got the 25th and all that stuff. Then you get into the San Diego Comic-Con figures and the figure subscription service stuff,
Yeah,
and they are madly expensive.
yeah. I think I've only got a couple of the club figures,
Mhm.
and I could even be wrong on what they are, but I think they are, and they're still in they're still packaged. They're in acrylic
Yeah,
because I'm not going to open them. And I would
I
say
do.
95% of everything.
I do. I just ripped open Ghost Rider with his, soft goods scarf, and I ripped open Hollow Point and a bunch of the others. I just tore them open. I don't, whatever. I'm a loose collector, so
I would say I'm 95% loose. There's just a couple things I cannot bring myself to do.
I have a few carded, but they're duplicates. So like the Inferno
Right.
Bat, I have another Inferno Bat, and he's carded and he's in a clamshell. I got a couple others in clamshells. Um, Mostly those kind of figures of opportunity. So when Gina Carano was fired from Lucasfilm and all the Cara Dune stuff got really expensive, I bought it
Hmm.
all up real quick, all of it. The frickin' pop, the vintage collection figure, like the different Black Series variants. I bought them all up, put them in clamshells, and they're sitting in my chinette in the foyer. Yeah, the
I think I
chinette's
have
where I
the
keep like my figures. So like I have a complete a man. I actually won that in the auction for Action Figure Adventure Season 2 that Jay Bartlett and Rob McCallum. So I won that in their auction, and I don't even collect Star Wars, but I was like, well, I'll bid on it because it's for a good cause, and I'm either going to win it or I'm going to raise the price. So either way, it's a win,
right.
and I
Yeah,
won it. So that's actually how Jay and I became friends. And
that's
then,
awesome. Jay's a good dude.
oh, Jay's great, and like my original keel haul for my flag with his gun in there too. So the
I do not have a gun. I got kill haul, no gun.
yeah, yeah, I was lucky enough, and I didn't really expect him to have the gun because when the ma'am got me this as a Father's Day present, the usual suspect pieces are missing, and it was all the usual stuff: mask cap, fantail deck rail, blah blah blah, the freaking microphone, which I didn't even care about that
I don't
anyway.
care.
But as I was going through the boxes, it was 5 boxes of stuff. As I'm going through the boxes and I'm pulling out like all these little tchotchke pieces out of this bag, and I was like, score. So yeah, I sealed him in one of those action figure tubes, and that's it.
Oh
He's
yeah.
not even holding it. It's just lying in the bottom of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love my flag. I've told the story before, but Destro's Toy Den, he listened to the podcast, and he's like, I heard he said you're looking for a flag, $600, and I'm like, $600? Yeah. I had to drive to Tennessee, but me and my wife just made a weekend out of it. Stayed in
Yeah,
a hotel, went out, did some things,
sure.
and still one of the best purchases I've ever made. It's missing the fantail, it's missing the microphone, which I don't care about either.
Yep.
It's missing the Y pins. I'd like to have those,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
other than that, I mean, it's complete enough for me. And for $600, it was a steal.
Yeah.
He was just taking care of me. He's a good
Yeah,
dude.
and you can get repro Y pins and deck clips. When I built mine, I didn't even put the original deck clips in it because when you disassemble it and you try to pop them out, they just go and they just shatter.
Hmm.
So I just put somebody made 3D printed ones that have like rivets in them, and they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I
So
got
it's
those. They're
yeah,
awesome.
all 3D printed. I actually found an updated mast that some guy was selling he prints them and he sells them on like his Etsy store or whatever. And one of the Joe groups he posted it. Dude, it's cool. It's got like a ladder on it. It's got like a crow's nest on it. It's massive. It's probably like almost 2 feet tall.
If
So I'm
you
gonna work
remember,
on like,
send me his info.
oh, okay, I will. Yeah, and it was cheap too. And I'm working on like painting it, weathering it. I was even gonna like paint some bird poop on it. So yeah. But
But,
I'll keep my original mast. I'll take it
uh-huh.
apart. I'll put it in Tupperware like I do with the two complete tow cables that I have, and I'll put them aside, and then I'll put the cool upgraded one on there. Maybe make a video out of it. I don't know. Whatever.
two
Targets of
years ago,
opportunity.
2 years ago I got the killer whale at the lobby swap. It
Oh
was
yeah.
$60. It was missing a couple things, but when I got it back to the room and I opened it up, it had all the spines, or what are those broken pieces called?
Veins.
That everybody
Veins.
veins has all those in there, so they're all complete.
Win. Win. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to do a little work to the outside, which I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
But for 60
Speaking of
bucks, I thought that was great.
speaking of whales, I've been restoring as I hit my mic. I've been restoring this, the Night
Yeah,
Striker.
it's
And
awesome.
a guy I know had this like in his attic. I mean, you can see it's got attic crud all over it. And I left it as it is. I haven't been cleaning anything off of it because when I finally get all the pieces, and I'm mostly there, I'm going to do a complete restoration on this. Like wash it, clean it, stickers, the whole 9 yards. And this year at Joe Fest, um, I needed the shrouds, the fan shrouds, right? The circular shrouds.
Hmm.
And they're very hard to find for a Night Striker. They're also incredibly difficult to 3D print because they're round and they're thin. And James Hitchcock, Black Glove Mafia, he had one set, and I bought that set from him. And then I bought a
Nice.
metal lunchbox just to put them in so they would be safe. But yeah, I'm working on restoring this sucker. And it still has the glass, which is crazy. Like the glass is some of the first stuff to go. It doesn't have the front
Right.
glass, but it has the side glass and the top. So yeah,
That is
working on that.
awesome, though. Yeah.
Yeah, not too shabby. So it's one of my little projects. And I love doing that. I love getting pieces that are, eh, you know, toys should be played with. And I like getting toys that have been, I don't want to say beat up, but they've been rigorously played with by children in the past. And
Well loved.
sure, and they might be 70%, might be 50, might be 90, but I get them, I clean them, I restore them, I complete them. Um, I'm a big fan of approaching my toy collection. And again, this is just me. I don't impose my views on other people, but I believe that part of being a collector is being a steward of these pieces of art and finding them, loving them, restoring them to their original glory, and then displaying them, and kind of stewarding them for someone else in the future because we're not going to take this stuff with us when we're gone. But I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
I've already
drives me.
got I've already got a deal set up with my buddy Matt, who I do the show with.
Mhm.
When I pass, he sells everything and gives the money to my wife because I don't want her to get ripped off.
No, no, and kind of at the same time, you don't want to leave a grieving spouse with the the trouble of having to sell
All
all
right.
this crap because
Well, she's
selling a
like,
collection, unless you
yeah,
sell it all at once and take a loss, is a nightmare.
yeah. She said that she wouldn't want it sold, but I don't think she'd want to have to deal with it.
Yeah. I If something happened to me, I know the man would at least keep the flag. She would keep that.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you were
I,
saying that your flag was 600, and I know you were getting a deal, but flags have come down.
mhm.
I see
Yep.
flags
Yeah.
for, 750, 800 all the time. But
Yeah,
several years ago, you're talking 1,000, 1,200. But
yeah.
terror drones have gone up.
When I got my my flag, they were going for around 12 to 1,500. But 1,500 was complete.
Right.
Yeah, terror drones. I got mine at actually the same show I met James Kavanaugh at, and I got it for 400, I think, and it's
Yep.
complete. Nothing wrong with it. They threw in a cobra eel.
Nice. Yeah, I got mine for around 3 several years ago. And in my mind, I'm like, oh well, a terror drum's only like 300, and then somebody's like, they're like 700. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
It's like, huh? Yeah,
this year at Joe
they have gone
Fest,
up.
the guy who remembered me, he sold me that 3 years ago. He remembered me and was like, "I wish I hadn't sold you that." I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. I love it."
Yeah, when I was at Toy Mania, buying up all these rad play sets and this freaking Street Fighter Devastator and on and on. And I got a bunch of other stuff too, figures and this and that. And I'm talking to my buddy Brian from one of the other stores that I go to, the store that sponsors my channel. And he was like, what do you want? And I was like, I want this, I want that, give me that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I know how you are. So he's pulling it all down and he's like, you're not gonna go over there and get that terror drum? I'm like, what terror drum? And he's like, that one over there. And I was like, I have two. What
Yeah,
no, I'm not gonna buy that. And I was like, just for kicks, I'm gonna go ask him how much for that. He's like 650. I was like, no, no, mm-mm, no. Yep.
you just need a couple
That's
more, and you can make your own little Sierra Gordo or whatever for the comic books.
oh yeah. No, I just have the two stacked, and that's kind
Yeah,
of how I like it. So pretty cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Conquest of Cobra Mountain set. I want to kind of integrate it with my terror drones. You know how it is, man. Like one of the biggest
yeah,
challenges of collecting it's not the dollies, it's the display solutions.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
this
like I,
is a complete 2-car garage. Like this room is gigantic, and I'm already out of space.
I have a whole half of a downstairs basement,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's Doctor Who, 6 inch Joe, all my 3 3/4, and my modern Joe, a little bit of Star Wars, and my Masters Universe. I really don't have room for anything else, but I
Nope.
keep buying anyway.
Yeah, and it's all smoke and mirrors. So like behind this table here, this is like my customizing area. It's just a big L. Behind this, it's just stacks of stuff that I still need to open. All behind this false wall is boxes and boxes of stuff. And I just get more. Like right here next to my desk on both sides, it's just piles of stuff. Boxed vehicles, comic books, loose vehicles, everywhere. And every once in a while, so like like the squirrel who's like getting all the food ready for the winter, I just amass all these toys and then I'll take like 2 days and just open everything, figure out where I'm going to put it, take my time, and then I just start all over again. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I like to just grab somebody and send them a link, and we just talk and open toys because
Yeah.
I don't know when I do it by myself. I like to talk to somebody,
No,
and
yeah,
that's the
that's
great
totally
thing
cool.
about Streamyard.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah. I think
But
my challenge right now is most of the stuff I have to open is large play sets or vehicles, and like opening figures is fun. That's all well and good. You're like, "Boop," here's the figure, and yeah, there's his accessories. But a vehicle, just like sitting here for 40 minutes with my head down, like just building this thing. But
I still haven't opened up my HasLab Sky Striker. It's just sitting on this thing right in front of me.
me either. So I got two, right? I opened
Right.
one. I opened the shipper box, and you know how it's packed, right? With the figures in that tray. I
Yeah.
gave the figures away on my 1-year stream,
Saw that.
and yeah, I gave all the figures away, and the actual Sky Striker itself in the Joe box is is up here hanging on the wall. And the rest of it, the display stand and the vehicles and the missiles and all that stuff, it's still in a box back there. And then the other one, it's just a sealed shipper. I haven't even
Yeah.
touched it. Yeah.
So I got my notice for my hiss that I'm sending to Hans that now it's being postponed.
Ooh, really?
I cannot. Yeah, they're saying now it won't ship till at least the 15th.
I thought everybody was all gaga about like, oh, they're shipping early.
Yeah. Okay. No, I got a thing. Well, I got a couple before saying it's getting ready to ship. Make sure we got your
Yeah,
address.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, did that. Then we get one. Some for unseen reasons, it will not ship until the 15th. Just like a couple figures like Thrasher and no wait, Buzzer and a couple others. They're just
Thrasher.
yeah.
Speaking of Thrasher, my friend, did you see my video about the triple T and the 118 Joe news? Did you see that?
Not yet. I have it on my thing to watch
Okay,
when they give me
so
a chance.
I the whole thing with I'm going somewhere with this, right?
All right.
A year ago, that rumor came out about the Soundwave Thunder Machine, right? The
Yeah.
difference between the Transformer community and the Joe community, even though they're both Hasbro brands, the Transformer stuff is laid out, set in stone a year in advance. So if you go to Transformer World forums, you can look back historically every year. They're like, here's all the Transformers coming out next year. And they know this stuff in advance. When the Soundwave Thunder Machine thing was rumored, I went and looked on Transformer World, and it was there. Soundwave Thunder Machine, yakety yakety yak. There was also another one toward the bottom that said Transformers Joe, X, which is crossover or whatever, triple T.
Yeah.
I grabbed that, posted in a bunch of Joe forums, and dude, I got ruined for that. Like people are like, "That's BS. Like it's fake." Blah blah blah. It's not fake, right? It's not fake at all. So then somebody reaches out to me, and I don't want to use the word source, but somebody reaches out to me and said, "Well, since I'm not breaking NDA, since you knew about this," and he just like info dumped a bunch of stuff on me. But speaking of Thrasher, you might want to keep your eyes out for a classified Thunder Machine.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't get it. Probably not. I mean, I
It's going to
did
be just,
order the hiss.
it's going to be just like the
No, I'm
Vamp.
sorry. Yeah, I ordered the vamp
Yeah. It's
because I
not going to be
think
the same price point as the Vamp. It's going to be the next price point because you know how they're weird, like they do price point stuff. So the Vamp is securely in that like $100 price point. The SMS is coming, then they're going to do a Stinger in the same price point as the Vamp, and then there's going to be
yeah,
another price point, a higher one between $150 and $200. That's where you're going to see your Thunder Machine, Snowcat, a couple others. Yeah. So there's a lot
my
coming for GI Joe in 24 and 25. There's a lot of changes coming. So
my two favorite vehicles, one Joe, and I'm probably the only person that likes it. Is I love the Thunderclap.
oh yeah,
I'll
man.
go off. Love it. My wife bought it for me for our anniversary a few years ago. I love Long Range. I think it's a great character.
Yeah.
Uh, and my Cobra, I love the Maggot. I love the worms.
Yeah.
I think it's a great setup.
Yeah. In my Joe Room tour video, when I'm showing like my entire shelf of nothing but Vipers, and I'm like, Viper, Brown Viper, Supersonic Fighter, more Vipers, worms. Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah, love worms.
yeah, I do too. Yeah, my
Of
Thunderclap
course.
actually sits right above me right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now, and I don't know. I love it. I finally got everything except for one antenna,
Mm. Those
and
antennas,
I will get it. Yeah,
it It's either the top or it's that weird little peg on the bottom because it's not just a peg, it's a peg with like a little whoop off the side of it. They love to break. Love to.
You know, but I will get that, and it will be finished. And normally, the way I collect, opener, I'll buy something old. I honestly don't care if it's 100% complete, as long as it's complete enough for me. I
Mhm.
guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care if it's got repro. My moray, is that what it is? It's not the water moccasin. It's
The
the
hydrofoil. Yeah, that's the moray.
hydrofoil. Yes,
Yep.
I got it at Kentuckiana 2 years ago, and it has a repro lens. I don't care.
I have a repro lens, which I actually like better because it has like the thick circles that a
Yeah,
spotlight lens would. I have repro depth charges and the guns on the back, and I do not care, but I love that
yeah.
vehicle. Always did.
I went out and I got a couple more of the lamp, the drivers,
Lamprey.
uh, lampreys. I got a couple more of those for it, and it just looks super cool.
Oh
I
yeah.
like buying multiple pilots for the it's a Cobra helicopter with the three
The Mamba? This
Mamba.
guy right here?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. One of my favorite pictures I ever posted on Instagram was my Mamba with three of their pilots, like five each one. It looks so good, so clean. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I I support the repro again community, right? I support the people who make repro parts because I don't mind completing something with reproduction. I don't mind having something that's not 100% complete. This armor bot right here is like 85, 90%. Missing one antenna, missing one of the blue hip caps, and it doesn't have General Hawk. However, over here in the back, I have a sealed box one. I don't feel the need to open that one because I got this dude, you know?
Yep.
It it's not a big deal. I have plenty of stuff in my collection that's not 100%, but at some point I will either source the parts or get repro parts. And
Yeah.
it it keeps me engaged. It keeps it fun. It keeps it interesting because I don't have to be like, oh man, I gotta go buy X, Y, and Z dollies to complete this run or whatever. I can just walk around the room and go, oh yeah, I need to get an antenna for that vehicle. And then that'll be like my thing for the next couple of days. And then I'll doom scroll for a while and try to find that piece. And I'll find that piece and then 10 other things. And that's just how it goes. But you never know where you're gonna wind up. And that's
Right.
that's why I love this hobby.
I think my goal is to try to cut back a little bit on some of the stuff I get some more of these. I mean, honestly, nice cheap vehicles, and just start getting them ready for all the 1/18th
Yep.
O-ring figures that are coming out.
Yeah.
I want to be ready for them.
I made this updated vertical Cobra Missile Command headquarters out of a Kids Connection $20 playset from Walmart.
Yeah, that's awesome too.
$20, some paint and some time is all it took. And I
Yeah,
love it. It's
yeah.
fantastic.
I gotta find the time. That's my thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, the
I
time,
need
right?
I need to work on it. I need to have more, I guess, Casey time.
Yeah. Personal time is good. It's always good to
Yeah,
have that.
it seems like all I do is work, and because I live an hour away from work, so that's an extra two
Ooh,
hours a day,
yeah.
and I'm working 11, almost 12 hours on top of that. I sleep sometime.
Yeah, that's your whole day right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and right now I'm only doing 5 days, but I mean I'm working Thanksgiving day after, probably Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with my buddy Matt, who I do show with. I mean, it's just crazy. Hopefully, I'll get to a point where I don't have to do that, and I can put more time in. Honestly, the only thing I look forward to all week is doing the show because I work so much. It's like Sunday's going to come around 1 o'clock. Hope I got somebody lined up. Thankfully, you uh, willing to come on today.
Oh, of course.
It's really
So
appreciated. Like I said, one of the first people to ever reach out to me. And I don't know if you can even understand how much that meant to me, especially at the time I was going through with being off work and being
Yeah.
sick.
Well, it meant a lot to me
It was
too. You
everything.
know, I wanted you to be the first person on that show. Like that's why I
I
reached out
appreciate
to
that.
you. I wanted it to be you. So yeah.
Yeah. Glad we
But
were able to make that happen. Glad you
yeah,
were able to be on here.
sure. Yeah, I'm always around. I'm always free. And that's I guess that's kind of the thing about working for the Department of Defense is that we always get holidays off, and it's just like pass leave, pass. Next thing you got like 12 days off. So it's all right.
Yeah, well, we work for like a retail company. We
Hmm.
we work in the warehouse,
Yeah,
one of the warehouses. So we have, and Matt's a mechanic. I'm like the clerk for the mechanics, which is
admin
weird because
guy.
I do a computer job. Yeah, I'm the admin, and I know nothing about computers. If that helps just at
Yeah,
all, but I can
just
do the
enough to
job
be
they want me to
dangerous.
do.
Like I don't
Yeah,
know what I'm doing. Yeah.
they're like, "Do you know how to do this?" I'm like, "I know how to Google. I'll tell you in a minute."
Yep. Yep. Sergeant
But
Major Google will give me the answer. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but I am going to talk to Aaron. I was on Aaron's show a couple months ago, Payne's Twist Sample,
Oh
and he
yeah,
told
yeah,
me he said I have to make time because I have a workbench that I want to do my custom stuff on,
yeah,
and I told him it's just filled with crap. He's like, "Well, then you don't have a workbench," and I'm like, "Well, that makes sense.
yeah,
I got to get all those comic books and everything off there, and I just got to find the time."
yeah.
But like I said, right now, this show helps me. It's my happy place, basically.
And that's good. Not only is it good, but you know, those of us who do this kind of stuff, we always need to make sure that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves or we don't bite off more than we can chew and it stays exactly what you just said. It remains that happy place. It remains enjoyable. My biggest thing, especially with like the live streams, the 90s one, the Neon at Night, it was so much work. Neon at Night is always like slideshows and slideshows and slideshows, and I'll spend days building slideshows, and I'm like, this turned into work, and
Hmm.
I don't want this passion to become work. So, yeah,
Yeah, this show's just gonna stay what it is. It's just an hour or so of toy talk with friends.
and that's
That's all it's
right,
gonna
and it's
be.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Why'd my camera freak out? Did you see that?
All I can hear is my dogs. Can you hear them up
Oh,
there?
oh yeah, of course I hear him. No, my camera went like really like orange, and then it faded
Yeah,
back.
it did.
It was
Yeah.
weird. It's doing it again. Look it. I, I don't.
Yeah. That's a standard poodle. She does not quit. Yeah. I can't get my lighting right. I got a light here. I try to turn it down, but I just look like I'm glowing because I'm so pale.
Oh, I just have my light right in front of my camera.
Yeah. I
I
had
have a
one, but it
lamp
went
on,
out.
but it's I have a lamp on, it's just over there.
Yeah.
So,
So, do you have anything special coming up on your show or shows?
yeah. I'm sure by the time this airs, it will have passed, but I'm having Jesse from JLS Comics on, which I'm
And
really
I,
looking forward to,
yeah.
and that's going to be good. And then Wednesday, I have Articulated Ninja coming on, and we're going to, I don't want to say debate, but we're going to discuss 118 versus 112 scale. So he's like the 112th guy, and I'm a big 118 guy, even though we both like, do updates and customization and all that stuff. So I think it'll be a very fun conversation. And
Oh yeah.
I I've been well, I initiated a Joe Room tour. I did one video so far, and just to do this wall right here was
Hmm.
45 minutes, and I didn't think it
I
was
saw
going to be
that.
that long. I got out my little mobile camera rig with a light and a mic and all that stuff, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be like 15 minutes tops, no big deal." Nope, 45 minutes. Um, so smarter, not harder. I'm attacking it like one wall at a time. So it's going to be 5 parts, 4 walls, and then the island. I have to do the second part, but the holidays. Thanksgiving's
Yes.
coming. I yeah, probably just going to hit pause for the holidays, and then
Yeah,
just
I don't think I'm gonna do anything next weekend.
no. I'm just going to
Uh,
spend time with my family, and you know that
uh,
that's that. I don't even want to call it work life balance, but it everything right. The work life balance encompasses hobbies and passions and careers and everything, and you gotta find that balance because um my wife is a huge supporter. She's a big part of this too. But I never want
yeah,
to avoid or come across like I'm ignoring my family to sit in my little dolly room and do dolly stuff. So yeah, I think I'm
yeah.
gonna pause.
It's great having a supportive wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know mine is super supportive of all this. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, spouses who are supportive of what we all do or, to an extent they take part in, they all will say the same thing. They're not out drinking, they're not gambling, you know what I mean? Like, they're just buying little plastic people. That
yeah,
that's a healthy hobby. It's very
yeah,
healthy, and it keeps you home.
yeah.
So,
She's like, you could do a lot worse. I'm like, yeah, I could.
it's exactly what the ma'am says. She's like, There's so many more things you could do that would be worse." Like, I will always support your dollies. So it's good.
I think it's funny that like my kids, I have 3 daughters. They're all in their 20s. They're kind of embarrassed by what I do, but all their friends think it's cool.
Our daughter, she is a big collector of a lot of anime stuff. Um, she got really big into like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, that kind of more run of the mill stuff. But
Hmm.
she's also a huge collector of Monster High. And apparently Monster High is like blowing up now. But she's had all this stuff since she was like 4 years old.
Awesome.
So, she's got the drag racer, the high school, all that stuff because I was buying her all that stuff when she was a little kid, and now she's got it all just in tubs and tubs and tubs. So, she's like reigniting her love for Monster High and starting to display them, and I'm building like, display cases and stuff in her room for her. And you know, her and her boyfriend, they come to toy shows with us. We all went to Toy Mania together and they hunted for stuff and the ma'am and I hunted for stuff and it's fun. Um
Yeah,
she thinks my Joe room is super cool. Like, yeah,
that's
she
awesome.
loves it. She always tells her friends like, you want to see my dad's dollies?" And then they don't know like, your dad going to is got like Barbies? And then I show them the room and they're like, "Oh, okay. Dollies." Yeah. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
You don't want
Well,
somebody who's unsupportive. It's like swimming upstream.
oh,
It just makes it difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't ask for a better wife, honestly. We've been married,
Same.
we just 31 years. We
Mm.
just went to Disney for our 31st anniversary.
Dude, that's fantastic. Disney World?
We went, well, which one's in Florida?
Disney World.
That's where we went. And we went to both the Harry Potters, which was fun. We went to Star Wars, which was fun. But the best ride we had a blast on the Transformers ride.
Oh, at Universal?
Yeah,
Never been there.
and I bought a couple. I had no Transformers until then. Now I've got like 10 over here.
There you go. When when I was a kid, um, I kind of went back and forth between New York and Florida, where my parents lived, and they would bounce me back and forth. But when Universal Studios opened in Florida, this is long before Google or any of that stuff or the interwebs. My buddy and I were like, "Dude, let's just get up real early tomorrow and let's just go to Orlando. We'll just go to Universal." Like, "Okay, cool." Right? So that's what we do. We get up early, we do the drive to Orlando. We can't find this park. It had like just opened. Nobody knew where it was. And we would stop at a gas station. Hey, do you know where Universal Studios is? No. And then we just do that over and over and over. And finally, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. We cannot find this park. And then it was just like, you know what? Screw it, man. Let's just go to SeaWorld. Just went to SeaWorld. Yeah, that was my only attempt at ever trying to go to Universal Studios. So,
Yeah, we stayed like 20 minutes from there. So of course we got Google Maps. We got
yeah,
there no problem.
sure.
Universal was way better than anything Disney. Just I don't
Yeah.
know. It just was more fun to me.
The
I did
Universal
enjoy
parks are
Galaxy's
going this
Edge.
way and Disney's going down. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
I
I'd see more Focus stuff, but there was none.
no. I took my kiddo um just as a little treat the day after Labor Day. We went to Disneyland. It's only a 10-hour drive, right? So
Hmm.
on Labor Day, we drove out, got a hotel. We have like the IHG stuff, the Holiday Inn because of our association with the military. So we stayed at the Holiday Inn Suites, which was like right down the street. You just walk there, and went to the park the day after Labor Day. Now the day after Labor Day is when summer's over. Everybody should be back in school. All the tourists are gone. Like it should be pretty calm. No, it was nothing but like annual pass holders, and they were freaking everywhere. The park was packed, like 95% capacity. And it's just like all these locals with kids everywhere. And the whole park was trashed, man. There was like garbage on the ground everywhere, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting. I was pretty bummed out just how gross it
Yeah,
was.
we were pretty lucky. We went on our anniversary, which was October 17th. So not a lot of people were there. We didn't have to wait very long. I
Yeah.
think the Transformers ride we walked straight into.
Nice.
Two of the Star Wars rides we just walked straight up to, and it was a
Yeah,
great time.
the Florida
Just me
parks
and
are
her.
they're not very busy these days.
Yeah, but we had a great time, and except for the flight home. Well, the
Mm,
flights home, it was a nightmare.
why?
Missed missed. We got on the plane and we had to wait there for 3 hours while they fixed something. So we missed our connecting flight. So they put us on another flight to go all the way to Philly, and we missed that flight. So we should have been home 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We got home at like 2 in the morning. So an extra 12 hours to our day.
This is part of the reason why I drive everywhere. I do not fly.
Yeah, it was my wife's first time flying, only my second time flying. But
I hate
we
it.
were together, so it was all right.
Sure. Yeah. Um, not this year, but last year, right? Joe Fest 22, the Mam and I flew, and mm-mm, nope. You know,
Did you fly into Atlanta and have to drive from there,
yeah,
or did you? Okay, because
that's
I
the
checked into
easiest way
flying
to
a
go.
couple years ago. Yeah,
But the rent a car place was a freaking nightmare, and we waited like an hour to get our rental car, and it was already like midnight.
yeah,
And then you got to do like the 2 hour and change drive, and so on and so forth. And it, I just looked there. I was like, we should have just drove. I mean, we didn't both collectively have the time available to drive. This year I did. I was like, nope, driving. But
no.
then again, this year I had to secure that Defiant from Scuba Pete. So I knew I was going to drive because that thing took up the entire back of my car. So yeah.
Just one more reason why scuba's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's the best. And Leslie too. She's a fantastic
Oh
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. Talked to her a lot at PowerCon.
Yeah. She's cool. She's just super cool.
Yeah, they're the scubas.
Yep. Yep.
Well, like I said, just really thank you again for coming on.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, honestly. Like I said, as soon as we switched over to YouTube, I always said that I wanted to have you on here early. And I mean, we've had some really good guests with Dreadnought Ryan and Kavanaugh and Foot, but glad to get you on. I'm gonna reach out to Scuba soon.
Cool. Do that. Yeah. Scuba, he loves everybody. So
He's like
for
I
sure.
said, you just can't meet a nicer person.
No.
I don't know anybody can walk away from him and go, man, he's awesome because he is.
Yeah. He has an infectious personality.
Makes everyone feel welcome.
So do you, dude.
Well, so do you.
Oh.
That's why I'm excited to have you on.
I don't know, man. I'm just a hater who doesn't collect any. I'm just a hater who doesn't collect toys. So whatever.
Hey,
Yeah.
just remember, I collect more Doctor Who than I do G.I. Joe now. So
And that's totally
I'm
cool,
sure,
brother. You get whatever
sure I'll
you
hear
want.
about that.
You buy whatever scratches your itch, man. If it suits your
That's what I'm
needs,
saying.
do it. Yeah.
Toys are toys. Enjoy them.
Yep. Always. 100%. And like when it reaches the point where like you're so concerned about what other people are doing and how they don't validate what you're doing, maybe it's
Care
time.
less.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
time. Yeah. You're focusing your energy in the wrong direction. So I
Right.
don't.
Yeah. I'm happy with whatever somebody wants to collect. I'm content with what I collect. The
Always.
only person I got to worry about what I collect is my wife.
Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the only person whose opinion matters to me whatsoever is my spouse.
If she's not supportive with it, I'll probably back away from it because
Yeah.
honestly,
Like,
she's supportive with a lot.
yeah. Okay, fine. I'll sell my collection and I'll put in a pool. Whatever. Like
I can't swim. I don't want to pool.
oh man. I love swimming.
Yeah, I wish
Love
I
it.
could.
Well, I grew up on the East Coast, on the
Right.
coast. Like I learned how to swim in the ocean. So, as we never really had pools. Like we had like public pools and the rec pools and all that stuff. But if you want to swim in New York, like you go to like the beaches and that's where you swim. And like I learned how to swim in the ocean. So now people are like, oh, let's go swimming. And my mind is always still like, no ocean. It's like, oh no, we're gonna go to a pool. I'm like, fine. So whatever, it's cool.
Well, like I said, this will probably be up tomorrow,
Cool. Shoot me the
and
thumbnail.
I will. I hope everybody enjoyed this talk. I know I did, and hope to have you back on again sometime.
Anytime.
Honestly, man, I've enjoyed this. This does not feel like it's been an hour and 15 minutes.
No, no, it was just, two friends hanging out chatting.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. I always appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, just anytime you want to hang out, just let me know.
Will do. Everybody be safe. Collect
Have an
what you
awesome
want.
day. Yep.